Ready na ulit. Refresh na kayo. Kailangan nyo tumayo. Kailangan nyo mag-sketch. Stretching muna tayo. Para mag-isip-isip. Galaw-galaw. Activate. Better. Better. Kailangan nyo tumayo.
Before mag-develop.
So moving forward from growth, from all of the measurements and all of the computations and all of the normal values, we move to child development. This will be the outline for this afternoon's lecture. So I'll start with a general overview, discussing definition, what are the different domains, different periods of development, what are the milestones expected, risk factors, patterns of development, the red flags, and as physicians, what should you do at every health visit? So development is defined as a qualitative process. It progresses forward. So it's not something that you can measure with kilograms, with your tape measures. So it's something that can be best described. Okay? And it relies on an intact central nervous system. That's why anything that happens to the brain will also affect child's development. And of course, it's centered on different developmental domains. It's not just one general domain that you are looking at. You're looking at motor skills, gross motor, and the fine motor. So gross motor meaning body movement, and it proceeds from the head down to the foot. Fine motor is something that you have to do with your hands, like what you're doing now, taking notes, swiping on the screen. And it happens from the proximal to the distal. Okay? And then you have your language domain. So it's not just, again, language per se, but there is your receptive language. What I'm hoping that you are doing now, listening actively to me, not just, one ear and then out with the other ear. And then your expressive language skills, which I'm also seeing now in terms of your body language, in terms of your facial expressions. I see how interested you are, how eager you are to learn today. Your eye contact, especially when I ask you to recite, how steady is it? How consistent do you look at the person in front of you, or are you looking at anything else? Your gestures, talking to your friends, the actions, no? So it's, when you say expressive, we don't rely on words alone. We also look at the actions and the gestures that you make. And then moving forward, we have your social skills. How do you interact with other people, adults and children, or same age peers? And then in terms of adaptive skills, how do you do personal activities? How do you do with chores? How do you help at home? And in terms of community, do you know how to show respect to other people? How do you follow the community rules and regulations? So in all of these, your social skills are also tied to your communication skills, while your adaptive skills is also tied to your fine motor skills, because you need good fine motor skills to do your personal activities. Can you imagine how you will eat if you have poor hand grip? Paano ka kakain? Shoot kaya lahat sa bibig mo? Pwedeng hindi. Kahit pag-toothbrush, baka nag-overshoot, or sip-sip nyo na lang yung face, di ba? Or in terms of interaction, pwedeng ma-impair din yung friendships kasi you do not communicate well. Kung hindi nakukuha ng mga friends mo or ng people around you what you are trying to convey, even if it's non-verbal. And then there's your cognitive skill, which is also reliant largely on your communication skills. So language actually is correlated to your cognitive skills. It's not the motor skills. So kahit maglakad ka at 9 months old, hindi ibig sabihin mo matalino ka. Alright? Now, we look at different periods of development because we see also what a child does at every phase. So during the infancy period, or at birth actually, we have all of the neurons that we'll ever have. And then, that's why you notice that the head size, or this, the number of cells, or the number of synapses that you make, it doubles by the first year of life. So, in the first 3 years of life, synapses are formed at a faster rate. That's why if you need to intervene early. Okay? So, in the first year, actually during the infancy period, the brain creates many more of the synapses than it actually needs. And you will see why in the infancy period, there's so much happening. Right? The first year of life, there's so much happening in a child. But you can see in the second picture here, to your right, that yung first na nagde-develop actually is your sensory pathways. Okay? And then your language, and then cognitive skills. So during the infancy period actually, you would think, wala namang ginagawa baby eh, di ba? Kain, tulog, oops, tapos paulit-ulit lang. But no, we have to observe what are the behavioral states. So what do we mean by behavioral states? How are they when they are awake? Are they actively awake? Or are they sleepy awake? Are they drowsy? Are they, like when they are asleep, are they really fast asleep? Or is this just light sleep? Okay? Because the time that you engage with these children or with these infants depends on the behavioral state. How can they engage with you when they are drowsy? So that's why pwedeng fussy at the time that you are seeing them. Or, tuwang-tuwa tayo sa ibang babies, they're smiling, they're responding kasi they are in the active awake state. And these states actually would also determine the type of attachment and separation that they will develop with the caregivers that they have at the time. So, if the baby or the mother actually waits or sees that the child is in the awake, active, alert state and engages, plays with their child, there is good attachment. If she sees that the child is fussy because the child is hungry and responds to that need, so there is again good attachment because the mother or the caregiver is responsive to what the child is doing. But let's say the mother is not as responsive. Let's say medyo mainitin ang ulo ni mommy. Let's say may postpartum depression. And the baby is fussy. Diba? We have to take into consideration also the different personalities. So personalities, it doesn't mean that we have to wait until the toddler years. Even during infancy, you can already see the type of personality they have. Diba? Like, oh, this baby is a happy baby, this baby is quiet baby, easy to care for. Ito yakin, konting ano lang, iiyak na, hirap na patulugin, or ang fussy-fussy. No? Parang kakapalit lang ng diaper, parang ingit na ng ingit. So kung hindi nagmamatch din yung temperaments or personalities ng caregiver and ng baby, the attachment will also be affected. So the baby may feel that their needs are not met. So, mas lalo, how they respond to their caregiver may not be pleasant. So, hindi rin gumaganda yung development ng child kasi yung stimulation that they need, hindi na-need ng parent kasi parang nainis na siya kaagad. So, kahit gising si baby, hindi niya nilalaro na nagiging pwedeng to the point of nanenegleg. And during the end of the infancy period, you should see also that there is object permanence. So that is one of the first parts of cognitive skills. So in the beginning, diba, they don't look for the things that are lost. Nawala yung toy, that's fine. Parang magic pa siya. Pero by the end of the first year of life, they should know, you took the toy, they will try to look for it. Like something fell on the floor, they know it fell on the floor. So they will look for that. So that is one of the markers of your cognitive skills. So what are the milestones that we expect in the first year of life? So as mentioned, diba, in the first year, ang daming nangyayari. From good head control, down to sitting with support, and then sitting without support, to crawling, cruising, and then walking unassisted. It all relies on the cerebellum. Because in the first year of life, it triples in size. That's why there is rapid development of motor skills. What else happens in the first year of life? The circuits for language in the frontal like temporal lobes, become consolidated. So, the more you speak to your child, kahit anong language pa yan, English, Bisaya, Ilocano, Filipino, Chinese, French, as long as you keep exposing them to these languages, the more circuits that they are building, they will respond. They will understand. That's why, again, language development is good in the first year of life. And then at about 3 months, as you can notice, hindi lang sila umiiyak na. By 3 months, they already recognize who is caring for them. Pag tinatawag sila, nag-respond sila. Di ba, pag pinapatawad yung mas humingiti na. So there's social smile by the 3rd month, even as early as the 2nd month of life. Because the power of recognition improves, and this is because of the significant growth of your hippocampus. And it's the hippocampus that is related to your recognition memory. So that explains why there's an explosion of development in the first year of life. Now, by the toddler and preschool year, so toddler is the 18 to 36 months, preschool 3 to 5 years of age. So by this time, there is about 80%, the brain volume is about 80% already of the adult size, and there are twice as many synapses as it will have in adulthood. But by the preschool age, there will be synaptic pruning. That's why in the first year, ang daming ginagawang connections, more than what you need. Pero by the preschool age, it recognizes you don't need all of that. So there will be synaptic pruning. So it will be gradually eliminated up until you reach your adult years. So by the toddler years and the preschool years, there is an explosion in your language. So kung yung first year of life, motor yung mas nag-predominate, by the toddler to preschool, it's the language skills. So you see, from the start, pa isa-isang words, babbling, mamamama, by 2 to 5 years of age, phrases to sentences na. Mama, Willie, kain ako, tumba ako, no? Saan po, saan na ba yun? Diba? And those are just some examples of what you expect. So when a parent comes to you, and they are not concerned yet, let's say their child is 2 years old and not talking, knowing the milestones, you should already be educating the parents that they should have already communication skills. They should have words already even before they are 2 years of age. And because there is an explosion in terms of communication, there is also a change in how they interact with other people and in terms of how they play, how they explore. The first year of life, it was more of egocentric. They play alone. They know what a cup is for. They will drink from it. They know what a spoon is for. Pero by the time that they are in the toddler and preschool years, they are already engaged with other kids. So they're not just playing alone. They're already in a group and there's already pretend play. So there's more imagination coming into play. There's more creativity. So yung spoon hindi lang para sa kanila. Pwedeng para sa baby nila, papakainin din yung baby. Or yung spoon pwedeng naging airplane. Diba? Nag-run around sila, hawak nila yung spoon. Or pwede din naging dinosaur. Diba? So it's really endless what they can do with the toys that they have. So they're not limited to the only purpose of that toy. Okay? So that's what you should be seeing already by this time. And of course, they become more independent by the toddler and preschool years. So hindi na sila dapat naka-diaper at the end of the toddler years, or hindi na sila sinusubuan during the toddler period, kasi mas nagagawa na, nafa-fine-tune na yung fine motor and yung adaptive skills nila. So these are the other expectations, for the toddler years. And because there is development of autonomy, di ba kaya there's a term na terrible twos. Kasi their favorite word is, no! Ayaw! Ganun yung lagi nyo narinig. Bakit? Because they are asserting themselves. Hindi dahil matigas ang ulo nila. But they know that they can do more at the toddler period versus in the first year that they really relied on their caregivers. Kasi ngayon mas mobile na sila, nakakalakad, nakakatakbo. So I want to see what else I can do on my own. Kaya they will assert, they will try to do what they can. But of course, in terms of emotion regulation, not yet as good kasi limited pa din yung mga communication skills nila. That's why tantrums may still be seen during the toddler years. But if the tantrums take place frequently, more than 3 times a day, lasts for more than 10 minutes, that's something that you should be concerned of. Because even if they have tantrums, hindi dapat umaabot after the first year of life, yung naguguntok ng ulo. Dapat by 2 years, 3 years, wala na yun. Kasi it may still be normal behavior in the infancy period. And then, mas napapacify din sila. Kasi receptive skills move faster than your expressive skills. So they are able to understand. So, dapat, hindi tumatagal lang more than 5 minutes actually. They should be easily pacified because they rely on the caregiver to help them regulate their emotions. Okay? Executive functions also start to develop or begin to develop by this time. So what are executive functions? Or organization, attention to detail, memory, flexibility. Kaya may pretend play din na nag-emerge kasi nga, alam nila that this toy, it's not just for this purpose alone. I can do other things with this toy. So that's flexibility. Okay? Or, they have a new toy, they are so engaged, they're so focused, what can I do with my cars? Can I push them together? Can I throw it? Can I raise them? So yun yung attention nila dun sa activity. And then they can shift that attention to another activity. Let's say you're introducing crayons. So from the cars, they can shift that attention to the crayons. So that's executive functions. And then these are the milestones expected for the toddler years. So as I mentioned, so they learn to walk, they learn to run, to jump. So there's increasing independence. So they become more aware of their surroundings. They become more self-conscious. From parallel play, it becomes a group play, and then there's pretend play. And then from object permanence to problem-solving skills. And also toddler years, this is the time when they will copy what they see or what you say. So be very careful of what you do because you are modeling behaviors for these kids. And then for the preschool, so they are more initiative. They take turns, they interact more, they start conversations. They ask why. Diba? They can answer questions as well. Ano ginawa mo sa school? Sino kalaro mo? What did you like most? And then they play more, they engage more with their kids. Hindi na sila yung naghahabulan lang. No? Parang may plan na, oh let's do this. They share ideas with one another. And then you see more of moral development. There's possibility na there's black and white only. There's no gray area. And that's why because they think na if there's black and white because I either get punished or I don't. So I think you can read the theories of development in Nelson. So you'll understand more in terms of moral development. Okay. And the milestones that we expect by this time, as you see, parang kumukonte. Compared to infancy period, na parang every month, di ba? During the infancy period, almost every month, there's something that you are watching out for. You're expecting for a child to do. But by the toddler and then the preschool years lalo, it's like every year there's something new happening. Because already na, the synapses that were made in the first 3 years of life, it is already tuned by this time. So the ones that they are strengthening remain. So again, also the skills become more complicated. So hindi na pa isa-isang salita lang, hindi na sila phrases lang, di ba? And then kahit hindi na sila bulol. Okay? So nag-iiba na yung ine-expect natin. So by the end of the 4th year or by the 4th year of life, 100% of their speech should be clear. They should already be sharing stories, sharing conversations, so more of sentences na rin sila, playing with a group of friends. And of course, in terms of self-care, they are independent. They don't rely on other people to give them a bath, to dress themselves, to feed themselves, or even to use the pot. So I think to help you remember, as a rule of thumb, especially for your expressive language, 1 year, 1 word, 1 step instruction, but intelligibility is 25% or 1/4. 2 years old, 2 word phrases, 50% intelligibility, and then 2-step instructions. 3 years, 3 word sentences, 75% or 3/4 intelligible, 3-step possibly, starting 3-step instructions, and 4 years sentences, simple sentences, 100% clear even to strangers. So remember always that comprehension starts first even before expression. So pwedeng 1-year-old, nauutusan nyo na, pick it up, give to mommy, throw it away, pero pwedeng hindi pa niya nasasabi. But it doesn't reach na 2 years old, wala pa rin sila single words. Okay? Now, middle childhood is 6 to 12. So medyo malaki yung range niya. 6 to 12 years of age. So this is also the school age time. And the brain is about 75% to 98% of its adult size. It's more organized. There is more myelinization of the white matter. So synaptogenesis takes place, but synaptic pruning still occurs. So the changes in the brain size and structure are subtle, but you can still see that there are changes in the function, localization, and what the child is able to do. So there's still dramatic changes in their abilities. So, actually according to Freud, this is the golden age of childhood because they are more into their own. Kumbaga, they don't rely on other people anymore. Diba? School age na eh. So, moving away from the families, they are learning how to interact with people outside of the family, with their teachers, with their classmates. What do I do pag nag-away kami ng classmates? Diba? Hindi naman lagi nandiyan si teacher. So, how do I stand up for myself? Or, I don't understand really what the teacher is doing. How do I ask for help? So, walang sasalo dun sa mga concerns niya. So, they need to learn to stand on their own. And then, nandito na din yung, they are testing limits. So they're trying to find what more I can do. Kumbaga, parang toddler years din siya, but instead of physical movement, it's more of how do they understand the world or the concepts about it. And then these are the milestones that you expect. So again, more complicated skills. So words, more than 5,000. So kaya nga, more of sharing stories na sila. Taking turns. By the end of the middle childhood, vocabulary is more than 50,000. And then they understand sarcasm, irony, metaphor. So they have more friends. So andyan yung mga besties, barkada, diba? I think this is the time din na hindi na kayo masyadong sumasama sa parents niyo pag pupunta sa mall. Papaalam na kayo, Mommy, I want to go to the mall with my friends. So may chaperone, no? Okay? Okay. So, that was about typical development. So what do we expect at every period as a child gets older if there are no problems or there are no risk factor present or the child is developing typically for their age? Now there's been a long time issue, I think it's been resolved naman na, nature versus nurture, di ba? Parang, is the family or the caregivers more important, their influence on a child's development more important than the environment? What do you think? Is nurture greater than nature or nature greater than nurture? Sure lang, narinig ko sa inyo. Sure. 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 Actually now, it's the interplay of both. Connected. So, that's why we look into epigenetics, how the environment affects our bodies. Like, we already see a lot of changes, diba? Climate change, pollution, then what do we ingest? So, yung mga kinakain nyo, mamaya may mga microplastics pala yan. So, it may also affect your genes. Okay? So, not one is greater than the other. Again, when you do your history taking, the clues are already there. Okay? That's why we start with the birth. Diba? After the history, yung chief complaint, yung mga concerns at this time, diretso kayo birth maternal. Do you already have that? Yung history taking. History taking, ano yung mga components. So, in each component, birth maternal, past medical, family history, personal, social, you get the clues already. How old was the mother at the time of pregnancy? Was this a wanted or unplanned pregnancy? Kamusta yung intake? Was there any alcohol intake, cigarette smoke exposure? Did she take any medications that was not prescribed by their doctor kasi nga gusto may palaglag? Or, nagkasakit ba siya during the pregnancy? Especially the first trimester, exposure to torch. So, pwedeng may sensory impairments at the time of birth. Or, did she eat well? Baka naman malnourished siya during the pregnancy, so affected din ang birth weight ni baby. Or, irregular prenatal check-up, nanganak sa bahay, non-institutional delivery, so exposures, pwede din nagkasakit agad si baby. Upon delivery naman, was the baby asphyxiated? Was it a prolonged labor, difficult delivery? Did the patient have to stay in the NICU? Any significant findings at the time of birth? And then newborn screening results in urine test. And then growing up, any significant illnesses, did they need to be admitted? Parang frequent, every month na-admit. Pagod na yun. Pagod na yun. And then, pwede naman na nagkaroon siya ng mga brain infections, serious infections, meningitis, encephalitis, or any trauma, nahulog sa puno ng mangga, nahulog sa hagdanan, natutulog si baby, na-infect ng tatay, di ba? Nagpo-post or personal social, how is the environment, where do they get their food, what do they eat, how frequently do they eat, who cares for the baby? And then genetic factors based on family history, any family member or any other relative with developmental concerns or delays. So all of that may be clues. So the patient, if the patient comes to you more with a concern of developmental delay. Now of course, you have to look into also, kaya kasama din sa family history and personal social history, ano yung ages ng parents, ano yung work ng parents. Kasi ano din yung exposures ng parents at the time that they were pregnant, or even for the child. Or who cares for the child when the parents are both working? Ano yung financial status ng parents? Kasi we know that if they are in the lower income bracket, the nutrition is affected, the education is also affected, opportunities are also different for kids who are born in the lower income bracket versus you who are here in God's school. The opportunities that you had growing up may not, or most likely are not the same as for those kids. So if they are not typically developing, what kind of development may they have? So they may have delay, deviation, or dissociation. So we talk about delay, or it's defined as delay if two or more domains are affected. So di ba sinabi sa inyo kanina, you have different developmental domains: motor, language, social, adaptive, cognitive. So let's say the affected domains are motor, language, cognitive, social, delay. Language, social, pwedeng delay. Language, social, cognitive, delay. Motor alone. Motor lang. The rest are within expected for the age. That's dissociation. So if it's only one domain, that's dissociation. So what is deviation? Based on your notes, what is deviation? How will you define deviation? Diba you have to mix with you already? How did it describe? How do you understand deviation? So it's like skipping a milestone or progressing forward in one domain, but the other domain is delayed. So, some parents think that my child is doing well. There's no concern, kasi they can talk. When you ask them, ano yung mga words nila? Letters, colors, numbers, shapes. And the child is only 1 year old. But they can talk to you. They can call you mommy, kuya, ate. They can tell you what they need, what they want. So it seems yung mga academic skills come first, but the words that they use for everyday is not yet present. So hindi siya advanced. So that's deviation. When you meet a milestone that you would expect at a later time, but you skip a milestone, you miss the milestone that you expect at this age. Okay? That's deviation. So knowing what is typical development, we have to also remember, when should I be concerned? When are these already considered as red flags? So first, during the newborn period, when the caregiver, please take note, social-emotional, caregiver is not taking care of the baby. The caregiver seems to be indifferent to the child's needs, not responsive. So, even parents, we have to see how they are bilang yung baby, lalo na for the first few visits after they were delivered. Because this may already be a clue as to how a child will grow older. So if they are not cognizant of the infant's cues, they get angry easily, they ignore the child, so there may be a sign of difficulty attaching to the child. Maybe the mother has postpartum depression, or maybe there is substance abuse. So they're not the best person to take care of their child. So you have to alert services. You have to look, sino yung mas mag-aalaga sa batang ko? Kasi si mommy, kailangan din niya ng support. Hindi pwedeng maiwan, or kay dad, hindi pwedeng maiwan sa kanila ng bata lang. So they may also have, if not postpartum depression, they may also have depression. So all of these challenges, of course, will not stimulate the child's development. And we know that in the first year, they rely on the people around them to learn the world that they live in. So if they cannot do that, look for a person who will do that for them. So you have to highlight the need of a village for these children. Now, when you see in the 2 months, they don't react to people calling them or to the voice, kahit sa parents.
Actually, sa newborn pa lang, dapat nag-react na sila sa sound ng voice ng parents nila. Kasi yun naman yung naririnig nila. So, if they are born, especially 2 months, hindi na sila nag-respond. Bakit kaya? Or hindi sila tumitingin. Magkaharap na kayo, hindi pa rin kayo tinitingnan. Buhat mo na si baby, hawak mo siyang ganyan, or pinicradle mo siya, parang 12 inches away na yung mukha mo sa kanya, hindi kanya tinitingnan. That's also a red flag. So, there is a possibility of a sensory impairment. So, investigate, is this a hearing impairment or a visual impairment? Especially even those who don't smile at 2 months of age. Walang social smile scene, pero nilalaro mo sila, tinitigil mo sila, kinakausap mo sila. Wala. NR. You don't think of autism. You think of sensory impairment. Okay? How about if they have a low muscle tone? So you see at 1-year-old, 6 months for head control, 9 months, they cannot sit alone, they cannot roll over, or at 12 months, they can stand alone. So, baka low muscle tone yan, hypotonic, you need to investigate. Is there an underlying neuromuscular condition or a neurologic condition? That's why the child has delayed motor skills. Is this a sign of cerebral palsy? Or, again, a metabolic condition or a neuromuscular condition? Permanent fisting. Dapat by 3 months, di ba, open na yung hands. Pero kung nagpa-persist siya, again, bakit ang tigas? Investigate. If you see that by 18 months, they're not pointing, that is a concern. Pointing to share interest, so, that's their way of communicating kasi konti pa yung words. So, fountain of pointing dyan. If by 18 months you see that parang lagi na lang left yung ginagamit, pang-aga naman ng hand dominance, that's a concern as well. Baka mahina yung right or again, misplasticity ka sa right. So, investigate. Okay. So, sometimes you focus so much on expressive language. What can a child see? That you don't see that the child might have also a problem in terms of perceptive language. So, you have to see. Baka mamaya akala nila namimit yung milestone sa baby na nagbabago, in the beginning, pero bakit hindi tumilingin sa akin pag tinatawag ko siya? Hindi niya alam siya yung tinatawag ko. Kailangan pa magkaharap pag hawakan ko yung mukha niya para tingnan niya ako. Pag inutusan ko siya, kailangan ni action. Dito, kunin mo yun. So, baka mamaya may hearing impairment din pala siya. So, it's not always autism. You have to coordinate. If there is poor eye contact, lack of pretend play, prefers to play alone, these may be signs of autism. So, knowing at 3 years old, they should pretend play already. So, that's something that you need to look into. If you see that the child is not moving forward, parang nag-steady yung milestones mo, hindi siya nag-regress, bagay hindi naman nawala, pero parang walang nadadag lang. That's also a concern. Or at any age, dati naman po, nung 1-year-old siya, may mama-papa na siya, dede, pero ngayong 2 years old, I don't hear that anymore. So that's regression. Always look into it. Okay? So it's also a concern. So what do you do at every visit? Okay? So there is developmental surveillance. So at every visit, you always check how the child is developing. So there's no tool for this. You know it's part of your history taking, di ba? Developmental history. So it would be nice also kung nag-chart kayo sa gilid. What is the child able to do? 9 months old, check, 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 check. Kasi aside from the interview, you can also ask the parent to show it to you. Kasi sama naman nila yung baby nila. You can see while on the examining table, kaya ba niyang dumapa? Kaya ba niyang iangat yung ulo niya? Kaya ba niyang bumapa? Pag tinayo mo siya sa floor, makakalakad ba siya mag-isa? Pag nilaro mo ba siya, titingin ba siya sa'yo? Pag kinausap mo, may mga words na rin ba siya? So these are things that you can do already. If the mother is not cognizant, but you know what to look for, di ba? You can take note of this. So that's developmental surveillance. So, if a parent has a concern in terms of a child development, or the child came to you at these ages, 9, 18, and 24 months, or 30 months, you should do routinely the developmental screening. So this one is a developmental checklist. There is a tool that we use here. So you ask the parent, it's interview-based. So you ask the parent, are there any concerns in terms of how the child walks, talks, how the child plays, how the child follows instructions, etc. So it's clear data and there is an equivalent result. So you'll know na, is this something to be concerned about? Should I ask the family to come back earlier, hindi na at the next vaccination? Okay, after 3 months, balik po kayo para I can see kamusta, para ma-monitor ko pa how the child is doing. Or, I just need to advise how they can stimulate the baby more at home. And then follow up after 6 months, let's say, and do another developmental screening. So, again, you don't have to follow the age if the parent comes to you with a concern. So, kahit hindi sila 9, 18, 24, or 30 months, may concern sila, do the developmental screening. Okay? And it will also guide, do I need to do a secondary test, like for specifically for ADHD or autism? Do I need to request for a hearing test? Do I need to refer to other subspecialties? And then, of course, if there is a significant finding in the screening, refer to your friendly developmental pediatrician. Okay. And these are just some examples of the screening tools that we use, like the PEDS or the parent evaluation of developmental surveillance, your MChat for your autism, and then your pediatric symptom checklist, which is for ADHD. So as a rule of thumb, as a physician, never ignore a parent's concerns. Don't brush it. Okay? Try to investigate what needed. Try to look more into it so that you can educate them better and you can assure them that you are really watching out for the best for the child. Delays in one developmental domain, of course, may affect the different developmental domains. And closely monitor children and families that you've already identified with risk factors. Okay? And that ends my lecture. Thank you for staying. Do you have any questions?